WIMS. You always come with gizmos there, young man?
Absolutely.
Do you always come with gizmo?
All the technology.
Okay, let's show this party of 4 plus Ric Federighi, which makes us the party of 5, how we do this. Everybody on the count of 3 say, oh yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah.
All right, so it's Monday morning.
It is.
Introduce yourself. Everybody knows who you are, but we love you.
I am back. It's Marlon Deleon. I'm the marketing and development coordinator for the South Bend Civic Theater.
Yes! Now let's go around the room because you have brought, sometimes it's 1, it's 2. Today you've got like an entourage and we've got a packed studio. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I've got a few folks here. I've got marketing. We'll all take turns introducing themselves, but I do have a marketing intern. I have an actor playing Mr. Banks from Mary Poppins, and I have another actor playing Bert the Chimney Sweep. And we're going to talk about all things Mary Poppins and theater in general.
The dude that's playing Bert brought not 1, not 2, but 3 at least 3 giant boxes of candy. Is that the breakfast of champions there, young man?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I'm like, oh, does that look good?
It's birthday candy.
It's his birthday?
Happy belated birthday for this guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Woo! All right, so let's chat because we've got Mary Poppins. We've got so much to talk about today. South Bend Civic Theater. We've got a direct link off of WIMSradio.com, off of WHFBradio.com. Let's start with Mary Poppins, if you wouldn't mind today.
Yes, Mary Poppins. You may have heard of it. Yeah, you probably have seen the movie version with Julie Andrews. If you haven't, that's okay. This one's going to be a little bit different. There's some aspects that are not in the movie that are going to be appearing on stage, and we're going to be doing this production the next 2 weekends, Friday and Saturday nights, July 22nd through the 30th. Our production sponsor is Merrill Lynch, Matthew Kahn, and we also have some flying underwriters because Mary and Bert and I believe the Banks children are flying outside because it's an outside show at St. Patrick's Park.
Wow.
So yeah, we got IOI Payroll Services and Jill and James Hillman that have been helping us out as the flying underwriters, which is really great because we're a community theater, so we take all the help that we can get when it comes to donations and volunteers. But this outdoor production in an outdoor amphitheater under the stars, you can have a practically perfect evening with everyone's favorite nanny.
I'm so all about this. Okay, so let's spin to this side and introduce yourself, sir.
Sure, my name is Nichols. I'm playing Mr. Banks, or as I like to call it, the heart of the show.
Oh, all right. I'm digging this. Okay.
I think they've incorporated a lot of the Saving Mr. Banks elements into the musical. I don't know if anybody's seen that movie, but it was Tom Hanks. It was wonderful. Emma Thompson. It was an amazing movie, and I think a lot of those elements are incorporated into the Broadway musical that we're going to be performing.
Definitely. Your heart grows 3 sizes during the show.
It does.
It does.
Now, how did you get involved with this particular production? Obviously, you've got a great career. But chat a little bit about how you got involved with this particular production, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Well, I've always loved musical theater. I had done Les Miserables for them, and had a great time, and saw that this was going to be happening. I went to their first South Bend Civic's first production out at St. Pat's last summer, which was Fiddler on the Roof. It was amazing. I said, this is a wonderful opportunity to give back to the community. And I'm thrilled to be part of it. It's outdoor theater at its finest, and it's going to be great. I'm excited.
All right, introduce yourself. Tell everybody a little bit about you.
Sure thing. I'm Pierre Cooks. I work at Old Town in Mishawaka, and I'm playing the role of Bert. And it's been a journey with the South Bend Civic Theater. I've been performing at the South Bend Theater for about 2 or 3 years now. My first production was Color Purple in 2013, which is a really good time, and I really loved it. And this musical particularly, actually, I've never seen the movie.
I know.
I've never seen the movie.
Really?
And I've gotten a lot of backlash about it. But
it's okay, though. I don't have a couple of notes. It is.
It really is. It gives me a chance, an opportunity to be original and not have to cater to what people have seen Bert as in the movie. So.
Well, I was just going to say from this, have you seen it at this point? Nothing at all?
No.
Okay, so that's kind of cool. The way I look at this is, as the old dude in the room, seeing it puts you in a different perspective. Mm-hmm. You living it through your cast and your colleagues and performers that you're with, and you breathing the character may add a little bit of cool spin to it. You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah. It's just like Pierre said that. It's kind of nice that he doesn't have the influence of such an iconic performance, like from the movie of it. And it's you have some actors, generally they'll do their research and look into movie versions, and sometimes try to recreate it, which kind of stifles their own creativity. So the fact that he hasn't seen the movie version gives him more freedom to go out there and fill Bert and illuminate that character and what he brings himself as an artist, which is really awesome for live theater. That's kind of the beauty of it, that every character's got their own little nuances and mannerisms on their own.
SBCT.org, of course, is the great site. South Bend Civic Theater, shows and tickets, education, news and events. So this is going to be going on. I'm so digging that whole spin, because how, from a director's standpoint, though, from those that are at the upper edge saying, okay, this is how it needs to be done, do you get a little toot for that? Like, do they come to you and say, well, you should know this? Or how are they spinning your character? Like, if they come to you and say A, what do you come back with? You just say, I'm staying away from it. Talk about that.
No, actually, the process has been really great. Everyone's been great. I told my director that I haven't seen the movie at all, and he's like, he loves it. They walked me through a few things that they want to incorporate into it from the movie, but aside from that, they just kind of give me a lot of freedom to just kind of move with that, and I don't get any backlash about it or anything. So.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's great. So tickets are on sale right now as we speak, is that correct?
Yes, they are. Advanced tickets are actually cheaper. Advanced tickets, meaning any tickets that you buy before we open on July 22nd, are $15 for everyone. $15
That's
per
cheap.
ticket, which is actually, it's our cheapest ticket prices for adults throughout the year. Regular ticket price is $25. But if you wait to buy your tickets and when you show up at the park, they're $25 at the door. $15 for kids, $25 for adults. But if you buy them now, you can purchase them online at sbct.org, or if you call the box office between 3 and 6 p.m. Eastern Time, that you can get them for $15 a person. So you can have more money to have dinner before, or, there's going to be some food vendors there at the park, like Fiddler's Heart.
Really?
Walk a Dog Cafe, and Olivet AME Church is going to be providing dessert options. I believe there's going to be some type of fruity, tasty cakes available. And Fiddler's Heart will be providing the beverage service as well.
I'm digging this whole thing for real. People are going to be flying.
Yeah.
For real.
Yes. Like they will not be feet touching the ground.
See, I would like to be that guy that says, I will be your guinea pig. Let me be the flying dude.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's yeah.
I kind of like that. So this young lady that we have now to your right, my left, tell me who this is now. Introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, I'm Evelyn and I'm a marketing intern for the South Bend.
Let's hear it for Evelyn. So how did you get, so what year are you in school? What school you go to?
I go to Indiana University and I'll be starting my 3rd year in the fall.
Okay, so how did you get connected with this whole entourage of folks? What made you think about the theater? Is that your, specific study?
Yeah, I'm doing marketing, but I want to do something in the arts, and so I saw Aladdin Jr. at the Civic Theater, and I loved it, so that's why I wanted to get more involved with it.
And this is what I say to all the young folks, obviously, when you're out there, interning is a great way, and there have been several people in the last X months that have interned here. 3 of them got hired. Yeah. And they're not making a ton of money because it's radio and it's local, but it's cool because it gives them the stepping stone, because I want them to expand. I want them to do whatever. So whether it's in promotions or marketing or news or events or on the air or behind the scenes, that is awesome. In fact, it's kind of interesting. When I was an intern, they would say, and I was going to college, I was paying my way through college, doing the radio thing, small market radio, DJing, all kinds of stuff. And I was an intern in Chicago at a traffic place, and the person who was supposed to be doing the traffic on a major blowtorch, at the time WMAQ, did not show up for work. I was the only person in the John Hancock on the 94th floor. They go, let's go to traffic on the ones. Here's, and I won't say the person's name because they're no longer doing it, they got fired. This goes back now several decades. But I jumped on the air, and that catapulted my career for 22 years in Chicago. So that brought me from that. So what I'm saying is the interning part of life is a great way to network, because, as life happens, you could be here right now interning, and 10 years later you're running something and you're tapping into all these guys and gals and folks that you're surrounding with. So I love networking. I love that in life. So, it takes some time, a little bit of time to get where you want. So the goal is you're going to graduate hopefully in a couple of years? Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah.
She's saying that. Do you think she's going to graduate?
Of course, she's one of the harder workers.
All right, I just want to make sure.
She may work a little bit harder than I do.
All right, so let's chat a little bit too. Let's expand not only on Mary Poppins, but some of the other things that we've got going that you want to get out there about the South Bend Civic Theater, sbct.org. Great pictures of these guys right now? Lead item on Facebook and Twitter, plus that website.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that are happening over at the Civic. Last week we just had auditions for a couple plays. We just posted our cast list for Legally Blonde the musical, which is opening in September. So that's going to be happening. You can check that on the website as well. But also one of the cool things about the Civic in general is that being a community theater, we have people with all sorts of different professional and creative backgrounds. And, Pierre and Aaron both are local folks. Evelyn's from Michigan, and then we have out-of-towners like myself, like moving in from California. But I don't know if folks do remember, a couple months ago, we interviewed the director for The Other Place.
Yes.
The play with the yellow poster and the bikini woman, and Aaron is actually that guy.
Yeah!
And if you remember from that interview, he works at a university you may have heard of called Notre Dame.
Great
He
stuff.
has an affiliation with the Bard, the Shakespeare. Well, not really an affiliation with him himself. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. You look good. You look good for your age, but I don't think you're upwards of 400. But you do have a connection to Shakespeare. Do you want to talk about some Shakespeare things coming up?
Oh, absolutely. We just opened the Notre Dame Shakespeare Festival, which is our huge summer initiative. We had Shake Scenes this weekend, which is the community company. We had 17 different scenes with scores of kids and adults from all over the Michiana community. The WIMS listening as well. That leads directly into our Young Company touring show, which goes all over, including a lot of the places around here. We're going to be in several Michigan locations as well as this side. We just had a performance in Valparaiso. We're going to be in St. Joseph. We're going to be in Three Oaks. We're going to be in Niles. So lots of wonderful places. That show is 80 minutes, family friendly. It's free. You can come up and see a wonderful Shakespeare performance in the Shakespeare in the Park kind of a way. It's going to be performing all the way through the middle of August, and then that leads directly into our third program, which is the Professional Company. When I say professional, I mean it. The director of that show is directing Cirque du Soleil on Broadway right now.
Killer.
He arrives tomorrow. We're going to have jugglers and aerial silk artists and trapeze and all kinds of amazing stuff. That performance is going to be at Notre Dame, and that's The Tempest, which is just this amazing, fantastical story of love and redemption. And I think that if you're looking for world-class theater, come to Notre Dame. We open on the 16th of August and run through the 28th. But
Man.
Yeah, it's a special year for Shakespeare. He died 400 years ago, so we're calling it the Death-iversary here in 2000.
Ooh, I like that. Was that your answer? Can you take credit for that?
I don't know. There's a lot of Shakespeare people around the world who have been having a great time in 2016, and we're joining that celebration here at Notre Dame.
Well, I think what's cool too, any of us, and I've seen Cirque for many, many years. Cirque du Soleil is so unbelievable. It's evolved over the last, several decades. But man, what a cool experience that is. Not only just the art of it, but the music, and you're brought into a real cool world. So many friends have seen, stuff on Michael Jackson and the Beatles in Vegas. Some of the stuff here like Novella Experience and Santi Blanco and I go way back.
Yeah.
When I was in Chicago, we would go every year, and I would which one could you grab now?
Right.
There's so many out there with Cirque these days.
The next Cirque show that's coming to Chicago is based on Avatar. Based on James Cameron's movie Avatar. Yeah. Wow. So yeah, their imagination is insane, and Wes Tyler, who's directing for us, brings that Cirque imagination to our stage. So it's gonna be great.
So how does that work? Do they need to get tickets for that particular performance? Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. Shakespeare.nd.edu. Shakespeare.nd.edu is our website. All of that information that I just talked about is there, including a lot of our programming that comes through the Shakespeare at Notre Dame. Tickets are available now. Again, tickets are $20 to $40. So again, for that level of that caliber of performance, we have actors coming in from New York and Chicago. We have designers coming in from all over the world. So for that level, 20 to 40 is a steal. Again, performances are the 16th through the 28th, shakespeare.nd.edu.
Hell yeah.
That is absolutely awesome. Let's chat a little bit, if you wouldn't mind. Outside of Mary Poppins, which, by the way, is like right around the corner.
Yeah.
Literally is. And if you're going to have music, it's going to be a little bit of a spin. Talk about that again, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I love the fact that it's going to be outdoors. It's the one show during the season that we had outdoors, as Aaron mentioned earlier last year when we did Fiddler on the Roof. That was our first production at St. Patrick's Park. There at the Fischgrund Center for the Performing Arts, and this one it's going to have a live orchestra. I believe the orchestra got together.
It's over
yesterday.
20 pieces, and
Yeah.
they're all
Wow.
from symphony orchestras. So we were
Kind of a
just
big deal.
blown away by
Yeah.
how professional this orchestra is. You're going to be amazed
Oh yeah,
by it.
they're fantastic artists. Like I've seen them perform at different groups throughout the show, throughout the year. A couple of the folks were actually in the smaller orchestra ensemble for the Music Man earlier this year. And fun fact, just to kind of like reinforce the fact that we're a community arts group, that one of I think the cellist, the only cellist in the orchestra, is actually the mother of Katie Keener, the girl that plays
Oh my
Mary
gosh,
Poppins.
wow.
She's a local cello teacher. She taught at Clay High School. She's taught at St. Mary's College. Like, it's really like when I talk about, community theater and community arts, that these are people that grew up in this area. So I have a very interesting perspective being a transplant from out of state.
Mhm.
I'm learning about this community, like Pierre's Clay High School alumni, So that's a South Bend school that's from there. Aaron, from the Elkhart area
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
around there, and then you've got Evelyn from across the state line up in Michigan, so there's all these people that are in the show. Some people from all the musicals travel from as far as like LaPorte or Michigan City. People are coming in for other folks for Legally Blonde. They're driving in from like Milford, all over northern Indiana, coming to do shows that they just want to contribute to the community. And it's not professional theater in the fact that we don't get paid for it, but some people they see it a little bit differently, but we have lower ticket prices because all of our actors are volunteers. Like our musicians, our designers,
That's
a lot
awesome.
of folks. We do it for fun. We do it because, we want to contribute to the art. We do it because we like doing shows after high school. Some of them do shows while they're in high school, and they're spending their summer rehearsing 4 or 5 nights a week to do a fun show like Mary Poppins.
And it's one of the only places, if you think about it, where parents and children can do something at the same time together. Like, for instance, one of my kids, one of the Jane and Michael Banks,
Right.
Jane Banks,
Yeah.
her father is the constable that brings
Right.
me in later in the show, and obviously plays a bunch of roles. But they can do this, volleyball, cheerleading, anything else. How can you do that with your parent? But civic theater allows multi-generational experience
Oh, yeah.
in a way that so many places you just don't have that opportunity.
It is. Rick, you were missing it. You were enjoying California last week, but last week the two of the guests we had in, Art and Emma Kopak, that's the dad and daughter team that's on the
Nice.
show. And then we have the Palmer family, like Dean and his boys, like Sam and Liam.
Yeah.
They've done plenty of shows together. And it is a very unique experience that you can have with something like that with one of your parents or with siblings that are coming in together.
Or husband and
classmates.
wives, and we got lots of people.
Yeah, partners and boyfriends and girlfriends and everything. It's
Well, and
very
I throw this out there too. A lot of times, whether you're a parent, grandparent, sister, brother, family member, I also say if you're that person that sits out in the audience, culture those around you. In other words, educate them, culture them, experience this
Right.
with them, because this could absolutely change their perspective on life. Out of my family of 6 kids, everybody was into sports and different things. I was the art,
Right.
music, theater kid, and that's what I loved. But I was also the rebel.
Right.
Yes,
Yep.
but I.
You and I both.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and that's what I truly miss, and that's what I was referring to. Whether you're doing this as an internship and you're trying to evolve, let those around you, your young ones in your life, your family members, let them do what they want to do. Let them take their path. Because I love what I do, and I'm doing today what I'm doing because that's what I wanted to do. And I always said, fine, and you hit hurdles all along the way. It's like, whatever, just move aside. Move over, let Ricky take over.
Right.
But this is great. And I really think to be sitting out there in the audience or to be watching on a whole other side is great. Or to get involved.
Oh, yeah.
For those, what do you throw out there to the people that say, I'm that parent and my little one's in the car, my young one's in the car saying, I want to try this. I'm listening to the radio station. I want to audition. What would you say to them?
Right, we have camps, we have auditions quarterly. We actually have a couple of camp sessions that are starting here in the next couple of weeks. We're closing out our summer session, but if you look at the website at sbct.org, right there, if you're looking on your desktop, across the main navigation bar at the top, it says education. You can click on that. If you are viewing the website on a smartphone, you won't see the same navigation bar, but in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you'll see a little square that says Show Menu. Tap on that, and then you'll find education there. So it's easy to get to if you're sneakily watching your phone at the office, or if you're in your car on your lunch, not while driving, because you don't want to use your phone.
I'm with you.
If you are viewing the website there's all sorts of information for all ages. Like my roommate, she's got like a 5-year-old daughter that wants to participate in these classes that she's never done it before. She's done gymnastics, she wanted to try something else because she's got a lot of energy. And there's also folks that come in for classes that used to do theater like back in the day. and they haven't been on stage in 15 or 20 years, and they want to like knock the dust off, and then they come in, and all of a sudden they're going to get cast in a show. I love the fact that you can have people of varying experience levels, whether they have a degree in the arts, or they have a BFA, or even a master's, or have never really been in a play before, and they're just like, you know what, this sounds like something kind of fun, let me do it. And all of a sudden they got bit by the bug, they're coming to participate in shows, even if they don't get cast, they're helping backstage, they're designing shows, they're helping with alterations on costumes, they're building set pieces, they're painting, they're working with tools. It's a really big community collaborative effort, and so there's all sorts of opportunities in there. And if anyone's interested, they can message the Facebook page, they find us, look, search for South Bend Civic Theater. If you find us on Twitter, @SBCivic is our handle. If you comment on our Instagram, all of those things. You can even email me, Marlon, like Marlon Brando, without the Brando, just marlon@sbct.org. You know, there's a lot of things there on the website. We'll get you involved. If you can get to the theater, we'll find something for you to do, and we'll have fun while we're doing it.
And I think, too, you could all attest to this, you know, and any one of you want to throw in and chime in on this. You don't have to be that person that's the performer.
Right.
The behind the scenes is really cool, too. You know what I'm
And
saying?
just as important. I mean, especially with a show like Mary Poppins, like we say, I mean, where there's people flying.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a village just to get the people in the air, right? And it took hours and hours to figure out how to do it and how to make it look good. And we are indebted to an amazing set crew. I mean, like we talked about the orchestra, an amazing costume. I mean, all of us are in multiple costumes, and we get 40, 50 people in a show. Oh my gosh, think about the exponential increase of just things on our bodies.
Right, and we couldn't do it without the team play. And I believe some of the guys that are on the, I guess I was just going to call them flight crew, one of the guys was an actor in 1776 that happened a couple of months ago. Another guy was a sound designer for a show that happened like a couple of months ago. So everyone kind of takes on multiple capacities, and they put on different hats just so we can have these types of, you know, like magical theatrical pieces that happen, because it really does take everyone. So even though I may have a directing background, you know, like I'm auditioning for these shows, you know, like I'll chip in on a marketing staff standpoint on the side, but I will still have like carry props in, or like, let me sort through some of these costumes for you, because you know what, it's not going to get done unless we all do it together. So if we're all already going to be here, we all want this show to happen, we're all just going to come and chip in. Like for the last 2 weeks, this week and last week, I'm having people wake up at like 7 o'clock, and we're driving out to Michigan City.
Yeah!
On air about Mary Poppins.
It's great.
You know, and then now going back to the flying, Pierre, you actually get to fly.
I do.
Have you ever flown in a rig before? Or?
No, I've never been in a harness, never been in the air. I had no relationship to flight before this show.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah, I've actually never been on a roller coaster or anything like that. So.
Wait, dude! First off, when this is over with, we got to get him A to watch Mary Poppins. And B, let's get his butt up to one of the amusement parks and take him on roller coaster after roller coaster. That's fun, though.
Yeah, that's in fact live above ground. We don't put him in a bomb shelter. We do let him go outside every day. You know,
awesome.
I was going to say something about Mary Poppins, and if you don't think theater is a sport, then come see Mary Poppins, because the thing we didn't mention is the dance in this show is insane. I mean, supercalifragilistic, Jolly Holiday, Step in Time, which is this huge number on the rooftops of London where people are going crazy. We got tap dancing, and the dancers have done an amazing job to bring an entirely different element to this show beyond what you see in some musicals, because this is a dance show as much as it's a singing, flying spectacle of a show. I mean, the dancers are phenomenal.
Oh yeah, and the choreographer, Callie Lorenz, I believe she's local also. Like she went to a local high school, and she's done a couple of shows, performed and choreographed as well. And I've popped into some of the rehearsals to take some pictures, and I'm like, you know what, maybe this is why I actually don't do a lot of musicals. There are things happening with those athletes. I'm not even just going to call them actors or artists at this point. They are literally athletes that are doing these things, and I'm like, good for you guys, because that's not me at all. So I'm going to enjoy the spectacle, because you can tell a story even like if you can't even hear the music, and you can just see video clips of it, like as you're scrolling through your smartphone, these clips of them dancing are phenomenal. Yeah, it's great. And then Pierre gets to do it in the air.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now I'm jealous. That's going to be great. So when you're up in the air, do you kind of just, are you in mode at that point? Are you in your character? Are you just kind of in another world? Describe it.
Well, in the beginning, I was very nervous because I had no relationship to flight, but now I've learned that I'm not afraid of heights. I was really worried about other things, but now that I'm up there, it's a lot more comfortable to be in my character now that I know that I trust my guys who are taking me up in the air, because it really does take a lot of trust in the people who are getting you up there to be comfortable and still be able to maintain your character and things like that. So it's been a journey, but I'm certainly grateful for it. Yeah.
Absolutely great. The website is sbct.org. Mary Poppins tickets avail as we speak.
Available now.
Now.
There's only 4 performances.
Okay.
July 22nd, 23rd, 29th, and 30th. So it's only Friday and Saturday nights. I know a lot of our other shows have Sunday matinees or even like midweek performances. Oh no, this one's just Friday and Saturday nights, and it's an outdoor amphitheater at the Fischgrund Center for the Performing Arts. Also, we want to still give a special shout out to our production sponsor of it, Merrill Lynch, Matthew Kahn. They were a huge sponsor. Each of our shows have a big sponsor, and they're part of the reason that we can put on these productions, that we can get the costumes for Mary, can have that iconic dress. You know, we can have these outfits that, I don't know, we were at the 4-H fair last weekend with Mary and Bert, and they had the candy stripe outfits and like the hat and the blue petticoat.
People are probably freaking out.
Oh,
yeah.
It was so great. I was watching, and so there's a lot of great stuff happening with the shows coming up. You know, we have shows like every month, and we're gonna have another set of auditions coming up. It's gonna be ridiculously amazing because there's always something happening at the center.
When are you coming back?
Probably in about a month when our next show opens, August 12th.
Which is what?
The Cripple of Inishman by Martin McDonough. Now,
Very cool.
That name may sound a little bit familiar. He wrote I believe it won a Tony Award, the Lieutenant of Inishmore.
Mm-hmm.
That was quite a play. I actually got to see that one on Broadway, and then toured back on the West Coast where Chris Pine actually starred in that production in LA, which Chris Pine you may remember from the newer Star Trek movies.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
I think Cripple of Inishman, Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter started
Yeah.
it as well. So
Who's that guy? Daniel Radcliffe.
Wow.
What has he done?
that guy.
He's done all
Crazy.
sorts of
Yes,
things.
he has.
In Equus and How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. So yeah, we're doing the Cripple of Inishman. Jim Giesel will be directing that, and they're in rehearsals now. And it's an Irish play. It's set up in Ireland, and for the quick version of it, we won't go into the full discussion because I want to get more details and maybe bring in some of the cast members.
Sure,
next.
love it.
But there's a movie that's being filmed in a small island off the coast of Ireland, and so there's a big hubbub around the town, and they're trying to figure out who's going to be in it and who wants to be in it. And there's a crippled boy named Billy who wants to be in the movie, and they're kind of like, hey, what do you mean? Nobody wants to see you in the movie. And it's there's some fun in there, but there's also some drama and some very commentary on like how certain things are viewed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things that it's going to open August 12th and run for about 3 weeks in the Wilson Theater. So we're back in our main building on Main Street in downtown South Bend. But you're getting to see this show like at St. Patrick's Park. It kind of works out that the show is happening now to be how all the construction happening in downtown
You
South
sure
Bend.
do, and you actually have a great way to bypass a lot of the
Yeah.
detours right on the website. So it's good.
Yeah, it's good. There's always stuff happening. So the next time we'll be back will probably be about a month, second week of August when we're doing that, But it was nice to get back here 2 weeks in a row, bring some folks in. I'm glad you're back.
I'm glad I'm back too.
Jeff and Dave were great last week, and they got to chat with the folks on air, and it's always a good time. It's a great way to start the week. It's definitely make it worthwhile coming out here, getting to talk to the WIMS, listenership out there, and starting the morning with you, like even when you were talking to Evelyn about learning, anyone that gets to come and learn with you in the morning, if they're not
Come on!
after working with you, they're not paying attention.
We're going to start the week on the air. We're going to end the week on the stage. So come on.
I like that.
In the air.
In the air.
Yeah.
On the air.
Wow.
I like what you did there.
You like that? Go
Big
see it.
round of applause for our South Bend crew, everybody. All right. Well, thank you all for popping by. You guys are all awesome. Continued success. Keep up the great work. Keep that dream flowing. Keep it up. Awesome to have you guys here in studio. Anytime you guys want to pop by, you let me know.
Always
All
a
right?
pleasure, Rick. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right. AM 1420 WIMS. Talk of the South Shore streaming.